welcome back to How to Be Real, a place where we can be real in a world obsessed with fake, okay? I am Tasha B. I'm an actor, a filmmaker, and creator who is really comfortable in her skin these days, like real comfortable. So, that's me.
Period. Yes. And I'm Tay. I'm a creative producer, lover of all things wellness, your favorite local yogi, and I'm also enjoying being here in my skin today.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
And we have wine today, visibly, because How to Be Real is 30. This is episode 30.
Okay.
30 episodes, baby. We're grown.
She nice and grown.
Grown.
She in her dirty 30 flirty.
Yes.
Okay.
Dirty 30. Oh, wait, no, not 30. 30, flirty, and thriving.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, she is. Shout out to Jenna Rank.
Okay.
That girl.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah.
But yes, after that's out the way, I say, how you doing, Tay?
I am. How am I today? I don't know. I don't know, really. I feel like what you said about feeling good in your skin, I definitely feel that. Shout out to all my ladies, because I'm about to get real feminine right now, but my period just ended. And so, when your period ends and you go crawling out from the hole of feeling like a disgusting skank to being like, wow,
I'm back.
I'm back.
Magical.
I'm so her.
Like,
so
I'm the baddest.
Yeah.
To ever do it.
Literally. I feel like around like day 2 or 3 after being off my period, it's like peak, right? I'm on like day 1. So I'm still on the climb.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. How you doing?
I love that. Like I said, comfortable in my skin. I am looking back. December, a very reflective year for me. I'm sure for a lot of people, but it's like end of the year and my birthday. So
birthday month.
End of an era.
Yes.
And I'm just looking back, and I've been saying it. I probably said it here, but I know I've said it to you. 2024 has been a year. Okay, there's been a lot of stuff, ups, downs, weird things that happen, like a skunk getting in your crawl space and spraying, and now your house smells like skunk.
The day before,
two times
Thanksgiving.
two times. Well, I mean, okay, the first time it was like the skunk got in there, and then the second time it was like we caught the skunk in a trap, but the trap was also in the entrance to the crawl space. So my dog scared it sprayed, bam, here we are again. Luckily, there are a lot of tips and tricks to get the smell out.
There you go.
I will say that you can't smell it, but I'm sure, like, if we just let the house get stale, you'll smell it. I've been very, like, ventilate, open some windows, light some incense, have some candles burning, make sure stuff's washed, make sure stuff's vacuumed, make sure, fabric fresheners being sprayed.
Yes.
So it's like there's always freshness going on. So I'm like, I bet you if we just, when you leave for some days,
go on vacation.
If we did that and came back, we'd be like, oh,
damn, what is that?
A little skunky in here. But I feel like now it's at the thing where, like, have you ever smelled weed or like drove through and you're like, is that skunk or is that weed?
Yes.
I feel like it's at that point.
Okay. And honestly, you guys had held your friends and family feast day the very next day. Was it the next day?
It was, yes.
It
honestly, it was the day after the second time. Because the first time it was the day before Thanksgiving or the night before Thanksgiving at 11 p.m. And we called a wildlife person, and they were like, okay, we're going to come out.
Crazy.
We're going to lay a trap. And so they made sure all other ways to get into our crawl space were blocked. There was no other way but this one way. But I was like, but before we cover that, let's put the trap here and a little bit of bait so that when they come next time to try to come back under your crawl space, they'll get trapped. That happened, and again, at 11 p.m., that happened, and we did everything to make the smell go away, put little bowls of vinegar out and stuff. And the smell had pretty much gone. Our friends and family feast day was like the Friday after Thanksgiving. And so Thanksgiving, we left and came back, and the house smelled good. Like I was like, oh my God, it smells good. Yes. Oh, yay. Oh, feeling like, yes. And by tomorrow, I'll do the same thing. I was telling my husband, I'm like, yeah, we had some windows open while I was cooking for our thing on Friday, and I was like, hey, when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna do the floors and vacuum and, or have windows open while I'm cleaning, and it won't smell, it'll smell just like food here. It'll be really nice. But then that night at 11 p.m., I let my dog
Lightning
outside.
struck again.
I let my dog outside, and I didn't even think, like, maybe that skunk's in that trap. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, yes, we're really
The smell is gone.
Cookie had to go outside. She was outside for literally, like, 2-3 seconds. She went, looked out, went and darted straight to where the thing was. I was like, oh no! And I called her in. She came back sniffing and like doing this to her head. And I smelled and I was like, oh, she got skunked. And then of course I came back inside and the whole house smelled like
skunk as hell. Well, I will say I was at that family feast day and you could not smell it. Like it really, you guys did what you needed to do.
I was up till like 5 o'clock in the morning that night, cooking and just like airing out. We slept with all the windows open.
Just skunk, the guy, your comfort.
And the guy came and got the skunk really early in the morning, so that was gone. I had to give my dog a bath. Oh my, it was just a lot. It was very stressful. But anyway, all that to say, reflecting on just the year, because honestly, 2024 has felt a lot like those few days of just like, you put out one fire, here goes another one. And I don't know, instead of looking at it like I kind of have been all year, like, oh my God, what next? Why? I've been looking at it like, well, you know, I've really grown a lot. I've learned a lot. And I trust myself more having gone through this year. Just feeling like, okay, I trust me. I trust me to be there for me, to handle it. I can handle it. You know, I'm less daunted by life now because I'm like, look at me, if I can survive all of this and just roll with it and continue to do what I do, then hey, I think I could do anything.
I think I could do any damn thing.
I can do anything.
I love it in you. And you know what? And if you can't cheers to that, what can you cheers to?
Right? So, you know, that's been my long check-in.
But we love it. We're here for it.
We love it. And I mean, okay, we want to shout out our trivia attendees.
Thank you.
Because y'all came and y'all showed up and we absolutely love it.
It was so good. Thank you guys
so much.
Thank you. And thank you to Doma Studio for hosting us. It was, I feel like I heard, yeah, I feel like I heard like 2, maybe 3 people mention something about the space, about how warm it felt, welcoming, not literal heat, because, you know, it is a heated studio. We did have to
we had to cut that down just a little bit.
But and it just, you know, it feels good to host something in a space that feels comfortable and that kind of also reflects somewhat of the vibe that we bring to, you know?
Like very much, I think what I loved about it, and at first I was like, how are people going to feel coming in, taking off their shoes and like sitting down with blankets and yoga mats? And I think it help the energy a little bit, where it's like you come in, you're comfortable. You're not dressed up, dolled up, standing. Because we thought about doing that, get some standing tables and have it be standing. But I'm like, it felt so much more comfy. Everyone was out of, you know, guards were down. People were telling their jokes, coming up with quirky names, and it was really fun. It was really fun, familiar environment. It felt cozy.
Keep a lookout for our next How to Be Real event. We got 2025, you know, some really fun things, exciting things planned.
And we really do. We're gonna really keep it rolling with the community, just goof outs or whatever you want to call it. Like, just get goofy with community and just connect with people for the sake of connecting. Like, we're not drive hard networking. If that happens, great, but we're here to just meet people, talk to people. If y'all make friends, great, but if you don't and you just have a cool conversation with a stranger and then both of you guys go home, that's also cool.
We love that.
Let's not be afraid of each other, y'all.
That's
all we got.
Let's rub these elbows in a comforting, friendly, fun way.
Yes. And speaking of comforting, friendly, and fun, that brings us to our 3 realists, and it is our 3 realist childhood holiday memories.
So good.
So you go first, girl. What are your 3 realist childhood holiday memories?
Okay, so number 1, I feel like probably pretty obvious, but opening gifts.
Oh, girl.
Because, like, literally, when was the last time you got, like, hella gifts, not having to worry about getting nobody nothing?
And you were an only child, so I know that just hit an entirely different way.
It hit hard, girl. It hit hard.
Because you just knew all those presents were for you.
For me, and, like, my little cousin for sure, but me, like...
I mean, like, you wake up on Christmas morning with you and your mom, and it's just... Well, the gift you got your mom, and then... everything else is you.
My mom, honestly, she wasn't really big into Christmas.
Oh.
So yeah, she wasn't really big into holidays.
Okay.
She went all out on birthdays.
Okay.
That was her favorite holiday, was
Oh,
birthdays.
yeah.
So she always made my birthday super, super special, but holidays were always my grandma's thing.
Oh, okay.
And so her and my auntie, they went all out. I remember one Christmas I had been asking for a stereo, and they got me the fattest fucking stereo. It had two speakers and then the main piece in the middle. So many nights that I had a remote too.
Oh yeah.
I went to sleep with the little when the hip hop station turned into the jazz station into the slow jams.
The slow jams. Oh my god. Yeah.
And it had a sleep timer, so I would like put it on, and it would just be like, this goes out to little Pookie, I'm still sweating, and then it would start playing like sugar, I get some. So yeah, opening gifts, and specifically like I would always get to open one on Christmas Eve, and then all of them on Christmas Day. So good.
Such a good memory.
Yeah, I miss that. Okay, my second one is, this is also such a little kid, making cookies with my bubby to leave out for Santa.
Oh.
I was so...
I forgot all about that weird tradition. We did carrots for the reindeer too.
That's hella cute. That's hella cute.
For Santa.
Girl, I even wrote letters. To Santa. My grandma had
That's
me
how my mom had
Santa-fied.
us do our Christmas list. Everyone write your letters to Santa, and she was on it. Like, please make a list of what you want from Santa. Let Santa know. And yeah, she would put them in envelopes and everything.
Yes.
So you mailed it? No, she took it to the store.
Yeah, she took it to
and got what she could.
Open that shit right on up. Thank you, ho ho ho.
I know.
Do you remember those the Toys R Us gift magazines?
Yes, I was just gonna say the stickers, and you can get stickers and put stickers on what you want. We used to get that.
Lit.
They were smart. That was really good marketing.
So good.
Really good marketing.
R.I.P. Toys R Us.
I know.
Like,
oh my god. As a kid, that was my favorite store.
Seriously, like you can't go wrong with Toys R Us. And then lastly was really just the whole, I think like just Christmas magic. Like it felt like the season was, I don't know, it just felt like from watching the Christmas movies to decorating the tree to setting up the nativity scene that my grandma had every year religiously, even when one of them broke, glued that thing right back on together.
Aww.
Put it back up, like, because my grandma, she went all out. She decorated a bunch, and so we would always like try to help her decorate, me and my little cousin, and it just felt so like just like a magical time, So I feel like that was definitely a favorite memory of just like how special the time felt.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh my god.
How sweet.
What about you? What are your 3 realest Christmas or holiday memories?
Yeah, one of them you kind of touched on, but it was my mom would let us pick 1 or 2 gifts to open on Christmas Eve, and it was so crazy how it was weird. She would let us pick the gift, but it would always be pajamas. And I'm like, I don't know how she did that. She made the pajama one, I guess, like, I don't know how she knew we would pick that.
Appealing.
But my brother and I were both, I'm opening this one, and we open it, and it's like some cute little pajamas.
Yeah.
Which we would immediately go change into.
Of course.
And, and my mom told me, she was like, yeah, I would, pretty much try to make y'all open those too, so that in the morning for Christmas pictures, you guys had on your new pajamas.
That's
and we
so
did.
cute.
And that was so cute.
That is
very
cute. Adorable.
And I do want to say, like, to this day, not the pajama thing, which honestly we do need some new Christmas jammies, my husband and I. But my husband and I still do that. We still do we'll do. And it's funny because Dale's like a little kid. He'll be like, we're still doing one present on Christmas Eve. I'm like, yeah. And then he'll be like, we might as well just open all of them. Like,
that's me.
What? At midnight. Like, why can't we just open it? Like, bro, just wait till the morning. One day. My gosh.
Hey, Dale, if you listening, same, bro. Same, bro.
It's like, and I'm always like, okay. Like, I feel like my mom, like, just one. We're just gonna do one.
Yes.
And then he'll be like, well, can we do stocking stuffers then? Like, oh my gosh.
Gosh, I was trying to get away with that.
Sure. So I think we will do, like, one present and a stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
And I love that tradition. I'm such a I love traditions. So, like,
keep them alive.
Keep them alive. And kind of, like, build your, like, little family culture.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much what traditions are. It's like your family culture a little bit.
Exactly.
Each family's different. It's always funny to hear people talk about theirs. Like,
For real.
But gifts. One Christmas, I got a Barbie dream house with an elevator, right? You like, there was like, it was like a...
Goals, bro.
You like...
Goals.
I don't know. It had like this circle corner, and at the top there was like this little ball, but if you pull the ball out and go like this, it cranks up the elevator. It was such a beautiful little... Oh,
I
loved that
so
house
bad.
so much.
So cool.
But I also got a little pink Corvette that was remote control.
Oh!
So I put my Barbies in it and like ride them around in the front yard.
You was rich
my
back
God.
in the day.
That Christmas,
Rich.
I was...
Yes.
Oh my God. I was living. I think I even got like another little Polly... I used to love Polly Pockets. So I would get those little things. So I got that, and I just remember feeling like...
Little homes.
Yes, her little houses and her little gummy clothes that I used to chew on.
Yes. Yo, Polly Pockets, Betty Spaghetti, and Barbie had the market on lock.
They really did. They really did. Oh my
Okay.
God, Barbie was everything.
Girl, you had the dream house and the Corvette. Living.
That and it was like, I was happy when I saw the car, and I was like, it's a remote control.
Right.
So I would have my Barbies in the front yard.
I heard that.
Bouncing over stuff, falling out. It had seatbelts.
I heard that.
Very cute. Oh my God, that was like, love that.
That's awesome.
Love that memory.
So good.
And then my last one, I don't know. It's like, my birthday is 5 days after Christmas. So one of my favorites, it's not really, I guess, holidays. It's like after that time, coming back from winter break with all my new outfits, all my new accessories, my new little makeup or something. Whenever I'm getting new little purse, new little shoes, I just would be flexing. It's like everyone did Christmas, right? So y'all got 2-3 outfits, but I got weeks of just new.
I'm dripped.
Each week I'm dripped out. I'm a whole new girl.
Yeah.
Whole new wardrobe.
Right.
Feeling renewed. Like,
who are you?
Suddenly I'm looking for something to wear and I just can't. Oh my God, there's so many options. Where before it was like, oh, I have nothing. Now I have, my wardrobe is unlocked.
Ooh.
I love that feeling. Love that feeling so much.
Did your mom, like, did she celebrate Christmas and make sure to also celebrate your birthday separately?
Yes.
Okay, honestly, same. I always thought, like, if I ever had a kid, let's say my kid's birthday was Christmas for whatever reason, or just super, super, super close, I would want to make sure that they felt both.
I mean, because you think about it and it's like, they're going to birthday parties all year long.
Yeah.
And I would always be like, dang, when is my birthday?
Oh, yeah.
And be like, your birthday it's coming. It's at the end of the year. It's at the end. It's almost next year. Pretty much. So,
literally.
Yeah, it would be like, dang, I wish my birthday, like my brother, his birthday's in August, so he'd be having like swim parties and stuff. And I'm like, dang, I want to have a swim party. And my mom would be like, you could, but I don't think anyone would come. I don't think the pools are open. Like,
Halloween.
we can't have a swim party in December. Like, it's going to be cold.
Can we find a heated pool?
Yeah, so I would do like ice skating,
yeah,
bowling, skate. Like, it would still be fun, but it's also like, would be nice to be running around the park right now. But we can't do that.
To not be bundled up right now. Like, that's cute.
Yeah.
I love that.
I used to love that.
Holiday memories.
Holiday memories.
Such a good time.
And that will transition us to our weekly reel of this episode. And we're talking about commitment.
Yeah.
Something that, touchy subject, depending on who you're talking to. So,
true.
I'll start off with the definition, as we, want to do.
Yes.
So the definition 1 is the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, person, group, religion, etc. The second definition, and this one was like, whoa, and this is where like the other side of it comes in. An engagement or obligation that restricts freedom of action. And I feel like those who are commitment phobic might resonate a little more with that second definition, because it is a commitment, and they do restrict actions. Like even saying something like, oh, I have a prior commitment means like, dang girl, I can't come to your, I don't know.
Whatever it is.
Can't come to your kickback because I have a prior commitment and I have to go. So, but after the definition though, we all have our own connotations and I don't know, like meanings that we put behind words. So I want to ask you, Tay, what does commitment mean to you?
Yeah, so to me, I see it as like more of a finding a way to adapt with follow through. Like, you know, I think that as I was thinking about this, I was like, man, the first thing that came up to me was obligation. But then I was like, I feel like there's a slight difference between commitment and obligation. You know, I feel like commitment is something that, to me, feels more something like, okay, I want to do this. I want to hold myself to this kind of standard or whatever it is I promised. Maybe it's something that is more mixed in with like a passion almost. And even if it's not as deep as passion, maybe it's just like a promise to myself that I would do A, B, C, and D. Whereas an obligation feels almost like I feel a little forced, you know? Like, I feel like, I have to do this. So to me, it just means like following through in a way that feels like a promise to myself.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I really do like that. I do like how you touched on the subtle difference between obligation and commitment. And while it was in the definition, obligation was in commitment's definition, I do agree that they are slightly different. For me, when I thought about commitment, it feels more personal to me. Like an obligation might be, hey, you work for so-and-so, so you're obligated to X, Y, and Z. And that's not something that is a choice. Versus, I've always thought of commitment as like, I agreed to do this. I chose this. It's kind of like coming from me. Yeah. I committed to this. Versus, you know, I'm obligated to do this because I work for this entity or I have this family. Signed on the dotted line. Exactly. My mom will get mad at me or whatever you want to say. Yep. So for me, that's the subtle difference. So
I like that. I think I really, really do. Because you're right. It does feel super, super personal. It's like, I think when I was mentioning like passion or something, I think that's what it came from.
Yeah. Like this is coming from me, like from within. Hell yeah.
Deep connection.
Yeah, deep connection.
Yes.
But I've always been very wary of commitment because of that. Because I don't really like to agree to things, especially in my personal life, unless I know what I'm getting myself into. And that's also been a struggle in life because there's so many things in life that you'll never know what you're getting yourself into. Like there's no way to know unless you're in it. And that's when you know. You know when it's over. Right. Yeah. You know when it's over. It's like, oh, that's what that was. So that's always been my like, I don't know, one of my struggles in life. But I take commitments very seriously. You know, if I'm going in, if I'm committing, then I'm all the way committing. But, you know, that kind of gives that like, well, I know how I am with commitment. I'm not one of those people that will be like, you know, yeah, I'll be in your wedding. And then
you flake.
At the slightest inconvenience, I'm flaking and I'm not in your wedding and I'm leaving you high and dry. Like, and that's why it is something to where, like, it depends who's asking me to be in the wedding. Exactly. And I'll let you know my capacity to be in your wedding. Like, if you're not family or my immediate friend, if it doesn't make sense that you would ask me, then I'm probably going to be like, girl, let me check. I'll see. Let me let you know. Because tell me what it is and I'm going to maybe have to have a conversation because, girl, I don't know about that.
Literally. And I feel like I've had way too many experiences of getting myself in that kind of situation of like, I guess, I'm wondering now, like, maybe that is is not an example of overcommitting, but maybe. Because I feel like that's what I've gotten myself into. Is overcommitting. Overbooked.
Yeah, that is true.
Overcommitting. Where it's like, holy shit, how did I get here? Why did I do this? Like, yes.
Why do I have 5 events to go to this weekend?
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
your man looking at you like,
God damn.
No, I don't want to go.
No, I'm not going.
I might go with you to the one on Saturday that's at the club, at the bar. I might go with you to that. But everything else, honey,
you on your own, sis.
Have fun. Call me if you need a ride.
Right. Literally. And that sucks so hard because it's like in the initial, I made the agreement. It was a personal choice.
Usually face to face.
Usually face to face.
Come?
Yes.
And you're like, why did I
do this?
And said, I'll think about it.
Yes. And it's been in situations where I feel like the most of the time when I get myself in those situations, money's involved. So I'm like, okay, I'm committing to this.
Yes, to all the dollar signs.
Yes, to all the dollar signs. And then I end up being like, I want to crawl in a hole and never come out. Like, how did I get here?
Right.
You know? And so it's a fine line. Well, I've walked a very fine line between overcommitting and just regular commitment. Being joyful about my commitment, like, ooh, I love this promise that I made. Ooh, I love this personal choice. And then being like, girl, who are you? Do you hate yourself?
I didn't like this. I don't think you considered me when you made this commitment.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You committed to somebody else, not yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah.
Try to stray away from that where you can. Your girl's still learning.
Yeah, still learning. I know for me, like when I was younger, I thought of commitment like in romantic relationships, and even just personal relationships. I don't know. I had such a low trust of people that I thought it was pointless. I'm just like, there's no point of committing to someone because there's no guarantees that this person ain't just gonna be a completely different person one day or start moving completely different, randomly because something came around or because they just said, hey, the wind's blowing this way, so let me go over here. So for me, I don't know. I wouldn't describe myself as non-committal, but I would just say I wasn't somebody that would commit. Like, I'm definitely not, I'm moving how I'm moving.
Yeah.
Get with it to get lost. But I'm doing what I feel is best for me. And, it kind of led to a lot of situationships, a lot of drama, a lot of like, oh, I didn't know we were not doing that. Or, then it's like, oh, I'm in this situationship and you're jealous, or now I'm jealous, or, and it's like, I don't want to commit because I feel like it's going to be drama, but it's drama either way.
It's so whether you commit or not, it's going to be something.
But I know, like, these days, obviously different.
Yeah.
I still kind of do feel like there are no real guarantees in life. Like, there really aren't. And I feel like anyone that says they can guarantee, especially things when it comes to human nature, like, you cannot guarantee that. We don't know what's going to happen. Nature, we don't know what the hell's going to happen.
We don't.
The Weather Channel can give you a good prediction, but even that, honey,
change.
It's not a guarantee. It can very much be 80 degrees when they told you it was going to rain.
Literally.
It happens. So,
you never know.
That kind of thing. But I've had to, I guess, come to terms with the fact through therapy and just life experiences. The same way you don't know that, people in your life, especially romantically, you don't know. Like, there's this, like, the voice that was in the back of my head was like, you don't know, they might change up. They might change up. But it's like, just like they might change up, they also might not change up.
Right.
So I have to kind of, like, detach from both outcomes. Like, you're right, there are no guarantees, so I can't attach to that. But I also can't attach to, this person is definitely gonna switch up. This person is definitely, I'm gonna wake up and they're gonna leave me in the middle of the night. Like, as it's a possibility, it's also not a guarantee that that's going to happen.
Yes.
So it is a balancing act where you do have to, the detachment is very necessary in life. Like, you really can't attach too much to things that aren't you.
Yeah.
Ooh. And that's like a major, major lesson of the past 2 years of my life, for sure. But really just sticking out as every single decade, every single, part of my life, that lesson's been consistent. Of like, girl, you can attach to you. But this stuff out here, these material things, these people, this job, this school, these friends, this technology, whatever it is, that that's not you. You're attached to you. Everything else can come, can go. You'll deal with it.
Yes, literally.
That's peace.
Okay, yes. So, okay, I have a question. How, when folks commit to you in any way, whether it be work-wise or friendship-wise or relationship-wise, romantic relationship, what does that look like? Like, when folks are like, make a commitment to you, what are you expecting out of them?
Oh,
yeah.
I think it really depends. I know, romantically, I've been married for 3 years, so and we've been together for it'll be 9 years in January. That Dell and I have been together.
Wow.
But so in that regard, it's like the commitment is very much like, just mean what you say and stand on it.
Yeah. Be about that.
You said you're my man, be my man.
Nope. In every stage.
Be honest, don't lie, be true.
Yes.
Be true. There's that. And so far so good on that. Outside of that, like friendships and family, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have, at this point in my life, I don't have very many expectations when it comes to that. I feel like I have reached a point in my life where I, will give and I don't really expect anything in return, whether it's an invitation like, hey, would love to have you here, but also not attached to you coming. I just feel, it feels good to invite people. It feels good to extend and say, hey, I'm thinking of you. We're doing this. It would be so great if you came. And that makes me feel good to do that because I'm like, at least you know that I'm thinking of you, that, you matter to my life. And I think about it like that, as me extending something out and being like, hey, love ya. And if you come, absolutely amazing. If you don't, I totally understand. Everyone's life is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. When it comes to expectations with commitments to people that are outside of my marriage, I don't really have that many expectations. Or commitments. I know that feels weird. I don't know. I like, okay, like me and you, we do have like How to Be Real.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel, I don't.
Like if I were to be like, if I was just like super fun, because I feel like there's like I think How to Be Real is a great example, because I think like there is a like unspoken commitment that we've both, agreed to for this. But I guess if I like, totally drop the bar on my end of the commitment to it, which I guess would mean like being unavailable for episodes or something. Yeah. Like, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I guess like how would you feel, or like how would you handle that?
How I would handle that.
Or what it would look like.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, when it comes to our friendship and just everything we have going on, in that regard, it'd be like if you were unavailable for a bunch of episodes, it's like, hey, do you still want to do it? If you don't, let's have that conversation. But if you do, win. Like, if you don't want to do it, win, girl.
Yeah,
I would want to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But when it comes to friendship, I would say, yeah, okay, so like, there are certain people where there is an expectation, but for me, it's also not like, I feel like expectation feels like too strong of a word for it, because I feel like expectation is like, you better meet this, like it doesn't feel like that. I think it's more of an expectation in the regard of like, we always do this, and so that's why it's an expectation. Kind of like how you expect your couch to be where it's at, because that's where it's always at. You know what I'm saying? Like you go in and you don't have to like, where's the couch? You don't have to look for the couch. The couch is always right here. I can come on my phone and just plop down with confidence because this couch is here. And so I would describe like a lot of the relationships that are outside of like my marriage like that, to where it's like the few people that I do have, it feels like that. It feels like, oh girl, I know that if I tell you that I want to hang out, that we will hang out. Like it may not be that weekend or the next. It'll be when you're available and you have time and I have time and that lines up, we'll hang.
Right.
Because that's how it always happens.
Yes.
And so I guess that is an expectation, but how I would handle if it did, I feel like I would want to have a conversation, because I am somebody that likes to kind of define things.
Yeah.
Just a little bit for myself, for my sanity. What I can. Obviously not everything can be defined. But like, knowing that like, oh, you're my friend and we'd be hanging out.
Yeah.
But then there's like friends we have where it's like, and we all have that. Like, this is my friend and we hang out regularly. This is like my bestie.
Right.
And then you have, this is my friend and we don't really hang out that much, but
we still.
It's always love when I see them.
Exactly.
So it's not that. I'm not really expecting that.
Right.
If we hang out, that's great. But if we don't, it's also great. Like, I still love this person.
Yes.
So I think that's like tears of friendship.
Literally. And also too, like tears of commitment, because like, I think that there are some things that you are like, okay, I am committing to this, then it's very black and white. And then there are some things like what you just said, like your friendships that are so locked in that you're like, this is kind of, we don't have to talk about this.
This is just what we do.
What's the saying, like, what's understood don't gotta be said.
What's understood don't gotta be explained.
Don't gotta be explained.
Because what are we talking about?
So it's like, right,
it's your fucking birthday.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're available.
I don't have to be like,
do something.
Hey, so we have a commitment. Like, you have a commitment that you made to me to always show up for all my birthdays, my things, my important events, right? Like things that mean a lot to me. If I'm going through something, you made a commitment to be there for me. Like, there's no black and white there, but if for whatever reason one of us were to drop the ball in that situation,
it would be a conversation.
It would be a conversation like,
girl,
Because it would feel like you kind of skimped out on your commitment to our relationship. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. Levels of commitment.
Levels of commitment. Yeah, because there like you said, unspoken commitments.
Unspoken.
Which is like funny because even with things like okay, I do this thing where if I'm on a shoot, right, we're there, it's usually all day kind of thing, and there's bathrooms with like stalls, right, and whatever reason. When it's the first time I go into the bathroom, I just pick a random stall. Like whatever stall my feet take me to, I go to that
and
one.
then that was yours.
And then for the rest of the day, that's my stall. Yeah. And so then you have that moment of like, I walked into the bathroom and someone's in my stall. And you're like, well, I guess I gotta go in this one.
Right.
It's like, girl, none of these are your stalls.
Me in this stall, I made a commitment to this stall.
Like, I committed to this stall this morning when I went in here. And now some lady's in my stall.
Like, what the hell?
Okay, girl.
Okay. You have this one time.
You have this one time, but the next time I come in, I hope no one's in my stall.
Right. Better not be in my stall.
What? That's my stall. So that's funny because that's what I thought about when I was thinking of that unspoken commitment. It's like, and then it's like I remember one day I was laughing because it was that moment of like, oh, I guess I gotta go in this stall, and I was like, oh, this stall. It was the big stall too, and I was in the smaller stall, and it was cold, and so I was like, dang, it's hella cold in here, this big old stall, and I was like, why am I like stall bias
I'm
right
so
now?
attached.
Why was I attached to that stall?
It's because we have an unspoken commitment.
This was my home away from home.
Literally.
But yeah, that's really funny. But I do want to ask you, how did you approach commitment when it comes to romantic relationships?
Yeah. So I feel like how I did approach commitment in romantic relationships, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like back in the day, young, wild, and free Taylor was very much like, you do you and I do me. You know?
Like I just said, that was me.
Yeah.
Commit, we're both gonna be lying.
Yes, right. We're just
not gonna be lying.
So I think the only commitment that I had was like, you know, that we won't do each other crazy dirty. You
or
know
like,
like,
let's not do anything that's going to embarrass somebody.
Yeah, like nothing stupidly disrespectful.
Publicly.
Yeah.
Out of pocket.
Exactly.
And then
something that will affect your health.
But I honestly will say that looking back on that, I don't know if you can agree with this. I feel like it was bullshit. Like we just talked about like unspoken. This feels very much like I'm saying one thing, but I really mean don't do this because if I find out, it's going to be a problem.
Absolutely.
But I'm also saying you do you and I do me because it sounds good when it's you, when you're thinking about you and you not being restricted and obligated. But then when you have to come to terms with the fact that this person is also doing what you're doing, now you're mad. And I feel like both parties feel the same way. Mm-hmm. You want your freedom, but you're my person. This is my stall.
Yes.
I better not catch no other people in my stall.
Literally.
It's not.
You know what? This conversation is making me think of something that I need to tell you off mic. Yeah. About something from back then. But I agree.
Yeah.
That unspoken thing, that unspoken commitment.
That poker face.
Like, yeah.
Okay. I don't care about anything serious. Like,
literally, I remember saying out loud, like, you know, I'd rather just not know. Just don't tell me.
I don't want to hear about it.
I don't want to know. Like, I'd rather.
I don't want to know.
Yup. If you're playing me, keep it on the low. Like, yes, I aligned with that big time. So that was my relationship with commitment back then in romantic relationships. Now, I'm like, open book. We, like, come on. We have to be, like, white glove. You know what I mean? Like,
let's lock it in.
Let's lock it in.
Yeah.
I want us to be as clear as possible about our commitment to each other. What does that mean? What does that look like? I definitely like having, it's so weird because even though I am creative, I'm also structured. You know what I mean? I like to say I'm a type A creative, you know, because I also like things to be clear and laid out. So even between me and Rod, I'm like, okay, sometimes I'll be trying to have conversations with him and he'll be looking at me like, girl.
Okay. Is this a real conversation?
Right, like calm down. And I will have to just like, sometimes I'll take it to my therapist like, and he told me to calm down about my structure, and she'll be like, you kind of do.
You do. Like, you can live in that structure, but expecting someone else. Because I literally am the same way. Like, I'm somebody that I used to, like, if I'm gone and I get home at like 7, and, you know, whatever, I get back home and I'm like, okay, so dinner. And I was like, oh, I already ate. I'm going to crash out.
Right.
We're supposed to have dinner together.
Right.
And then I'm like, dang, if I knew that you would have ate, I might have grabbed something on the way home for myself or stopped at the store to get something. I would have had a different mind frame of like, oh, I'm going to eat what I'm going to eat. Yeah. Not, let's go home and collectively have
decide.
Dinner.
Yes.
Now I'm mad.
Right.
But
is mine in the fridge?
Okay. What'd you get me?
Right.
Because there would be times just like, oh yeah, I just went ahead and get an all-meat pizza from Round Table. You know I can't eat that.
You know I don't eat that.
What the heck? Why would you do that?
Right.
You didn't get nothing for me? Like, oh, I didn't know what time you're going to be home. You didn't, but still.
It's the principle.
It's the principle.
Right. See, and I be in those moments, early on-ish, because sometimes I be having to woosah myself to this day.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, so this is what I'm expecting. This, that.
Yeah.
This, and that. And Ron will be like, okay, I hear you, but I will also say that we live in reality. And I may not be able to uphold this, that every single time. And I'll be like, why?
Just
why?
Fall in line.
Right. Literally.
Damn. Is that why we're friends? Because I really be like, why can't you just do what I tell you to do?
Right.
I feel like I've jokingly said that to my husband. Like, just, you know, when you're just that. I'm like, I just want you to, like, do what I want you to do when I want you to do it. Mm-hmm. He was like, I bet you do.
I bet you do.
I'm joking, but, like, I know I'm not really expecting that, but in a perfect world,
I am.
That is lightweight how it would be. But then that would also be boring. It would be a boring relationship. Mm-hmm. That's just like, no, I do want a little bit of pushback. I want you to be your own person.
Yes.
But the times when I want things to be, like literally the other night, I was about to reheat. I had made some chili a few nights ago. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have chili and do some chili cheese fries. So and Dale was like, oh, I'm not hungry. And I was like, okay, but I'm starving. And he was like, okay, just eat. And I was like, oh, so we're not eating together. And he was like, cool. I mean, I can eat right now. I was like, no. And then I was like, wait, no, I don't want to like force you, guilt you into eating right now. Let me stop. I was like, why do I actually? No, I'm sorry. I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna do it. And yeah, you eat when you eat. What are you gonna eat? Do it your way.
You, because I'm gonna do me. Honestly.
But, like, I don't know why my first reaction was, so we're not eating together.
Wow, okay. Okay, cool. No, that's the same thing. Like, Rod will be like, oh yeah, I want a pizza. And I'm like, oh, I want a salad. And he'll be like, okay, well, how about we stop off at this place, I'll get my pizza, and then I'll take you over there and you get your salad. I'll be like, or let's just find some place that we both like to eat and go there. Right. And then we spend like another 30 minutes to where my hanger is like just over the edge now. And he's like, okay, look, we have not decided on one place yet.
And now place is about to close.
Go. Let's just get your pizza and you get your salad. And I'll be like, fine, but I'm not happy about this. Like, I hate this right now.
I hate how different this is.
What's wrong? Like,
but it's like, why? Why is having dinner, specifically dinner, like, breakfast is nice to have, but Dell and I wake up at different times, and he eats like 2-3 breakfasts, just because he wakes up really early. And whatever. Yeah. So that's different, but dinner is the one meal that we share. Yes. And so I feel like maybe that's why.
Meal.
Because this was a few nights ago. That was the chili incident. Yeah. I was just like, you're not hungry. Oh,
cool. See, these unspoken commitments.
And then I'm like, wait, why am I? But yeah, unspoken commitment, man. Yeah. That is. I'm like, now that we're saying it, there's so many more that pop up.
So many more.
Like, oh my God, that is a commitment. Like going to bed at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's like we may wake up at different times, but like, you ever been like you're tired, right? And you're on the couch and your partner is doing something and they're just up and you're like fighting sleep. And they're like, oh, just go to bed.
No.
And you're like, well, no, because you're still up. And it's like, it took me some years to finally be like, no, I am tired. I'm going to bed. And then it's funny because it's one of those things to where whether you're the late night or the person that goes to bed early, the person always follows you very soon. You know what I mean? It'll be like 30 minutes later. Like, yeah, I came to bed too.
I guess it wasn't as
fun without you out there.
I bet it wasn't.
I know you briefly touched on like work life. But I just want to say in my work life, commitment is also very different because it's creative work, as you know, and there's a lot of times where somebody telling you something and how it's going to be, with the rate, with the usage, all these things, what this is going to be, it hardly ever turns out exactly like that.
Yeah.
And I've been in the industry long enough to be burned in a lot of different ways. Either you commit to a project for a certain rate, but then they end up expecting way more of you. So then you're like, okay, I actually should have been paid more for this. Or, somebody taking someone at their word and being like, oh, so this is what this is going to be. And then once things are recorded, now all of a sudden it's a whole different scenario and I regret. Now I'm like, dang, I should have got something in writing. So like all these scenarios have happened to where it's just like, you live and you learn.
You live and you learn.
But also, never the frick again.
Yeah.
I'm very again, it's not wary, but it is very much, I need to know what this is about. And I really enjoy that because it is a place where, like you said, we do like things to be very clearly defined. Okay, this is what it is. Yeah. This is what it's going to be. And so what I love about the work that I do is that you do get that outline of like, this is what it is. This is what it's going to be. And we're both signing this.
Yeah.
So then when anytime something starts to get, it's like, okay, per the contract though, it says that I'm supposed to show up on this day at this time for this long, and this is what I'm supposed to get paid. So anything outside of that
is not okay.
Now we have a problem.
You know what I mean?
And now legalities are coming into it. So what are we doing? So I appreciate
that.
Good
contract.
Okay.
I love a good contract.
In writing, where we can refer it back if I need to CC you on that email and ping it back up to the top of your thing so you can revisit that and maybe understand what we agreed to. Yeah. It just makes things a lot easier. But with your work life, are you, I don't know, is it similar? Are you
super similar. I feel like honestly right now I'm in a situation where I'm having to bump up the contract to the client right now because I don't know. People, I guess, just be feeling like it's okay to be paying late. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, you know, okay, you don't have a whole team. Like, and you know how embarrassing it is to be like,
hey guys, checks are going to be late.
Right. And I know, thank goodness, they're all very, understanding. They know that this client has been late before. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't want to be known as the...
And it's like
you let the person who just pays late all the time because because I work with clients who are always doing that shit.
And if you keep letting clients do that, they'll keep doing that.
Exactly. So per our contract, tomorrow I'm about to send an email about like, hey, so work stops. We're not working any longer until
you pay us.
Until you pay us. Now, hopefully, they do have until tomorrow, but hopefully
it comes
at
the 11th hour.
Exactly. And I really hope so because I do like them. Like, I think they're great people. But at the same time, it's like money talks.
Yeah, and like you said, people need to get paid. This economy is bad. We need all our checks.
Yes.
We need them when you can get them. As fast as you can get it is as fast as I want.
Exactly. So I do work in a field where, contract is king. Let's what's the contract say? Oh, what's the scope of work say? Are we out of scope? Okay, then we're not going to do something that we're not about to get paid for. And so that's why, when I do work with, it tends to be more so like small businesses, and I myself am a small business, but when it's like small businesses, they do kind of toe the line heavily on, asking for things that are outside of what we discussed. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, we made a commitment to each other to not overstep these boundaries really, you know what I mean? Or let me not go all that far. because people do be overstepping boundaries.
I mean, yeah.
But we made a commitment to ourselves to, at the very least, agree on this is what I'm asking, this is what is expected, and this is how much we're getting paid for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that it's very much the same. I say all that to say very much the same.
Yeah, where it is like, hey, it's people, right?
It's people.
And I feel like any time it's people dealing with people, you gotta, like you said, I'm gonna remind you. I like that. We're out of scope.
We're out of scope.
It's out of the scope. Man.
Yeah.
I can't even see that.
Right.
The scope isn't adjusted to. No.
This is the scope we agreed on. All these things are scope creep. Scope creep. Like, gotta reel that in.
Let's reel it in, babe. We're not zooming out.
No, or we'll charge you more. We can do it.
We can rethink the budget.
But
continue the rates.
Right.
For that.
Right. We'll send you the rates for that. Hopefully you're down. If not, we're just not gonna do it.
I heard that.
Per our commitment.
But yeah, I know with me in work, it's been very important for me to go with my gut. And there have been times where I'm like, I'll look at something and from the breakdown, you can just, whether it be from the client or sometimes it's like, get something that it's like, okay, even this audition is giving. No. I don't think so. It's too much. So yeah, it's you gotta just go with your gut and just listen to what that intuition is telling you. Because sometimes, and you've been there too, where it's like, oh, should I work with this client? Should I work with these people? And your gut is like, oh, don't. But you're like, no, that money looks good. So then you go, and then you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do that again. Oof. That money was great, but not again.
Ooh, it sends me to some Vietnam flashbacks from 2019 to 2020, baby. Woo! Yeah.
It's real.
It's so real.
But my last thing on commitment is a show that my husband and I like. There's 3 seasons. I think there's maybe a 4 because they did like a queer one.
Yeah.
The Ultimatum on Netflix. Crazy premise to the show. I was explaining it to my mom and she was like, whoa, that's drama. And I was like, yeah, because what the heck? Essentially, it's like you want to marry your man or your person and they don't want to commit, so you submit yourselves to this show. You go on with a bunch of couples that are in the same boat. Everybody breaks up, dates everyone else that's on the show.
Yep.
Pair up with someone new, move in with them for 3 weeks. Trial marriage. As you can imagine, it gets raunchy.
It gets crazy.
And then after that 3 weeks, you move back in with your original partner for 3 weeks. And then at the end of that, you decide,
do you want to get
married? Are y'all going to get married?
Yeah.
Or are y'all going to break up? Are you going to be with that new person? Crazy. Very entertaining if you like little trash TV.
Yes. Honestly,
I love it.
Right. Love it. Great idea. Great idea for a TV.
But like, how messy is
so
this?
Messy.
It's so messy.
And honestly, I'm gonna be so real. I'd rather break up with you than take you on this damn show. Like,
I was gonna ask you, how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about just that whole premise?
No, I mean, like, fun to watch, terrible to go through. I would be like, okay. Honestly, too, I've been wondering, how do they get these people to agree to go on the show with them? Like, I feel like now, okay, we're in season 3/4-ish.
So it's like they just want to be on Netflix.
So it kind of feels like it's being a Love is Blind effect.
But you're still, with that one, I mean, yeah, I guess you can have like a fake relationship.
You could.
Maybe you go on there.
Yeah, right, like, oh, I don't know if I want to be with you.
We should get married. But really, we're just there to...
No.
But like... How do you feel about like ultimatums and just really just that in general? Like giving someone an ultimatum, like, hey, marry me or we're done. Like, how do you feel about that type of thing?
Gosh, ooh, you are hitting a button.
Oh,
because I think I'm trying to be better about it because I used to be a very like big supporter of ultimatums. Like, for the most part, yeah.
Do this or it's over.
Do this or it's over with anything, anybody. Like, it was like, okay, even if it wasn't said out loud in my head, it was like, all right.
Oh, if this person don't do this,
it's done.
It's curtains.
It's curtains. And I don't care if it's a teacher, that's it. If my teacher doesn't give me a good grade on this extra credit I just did, when I did not even have to do this, then I don't like them anymore. They're
I'm
not
never
my
saying
favorite
good morning
teacher.
ever again.
Literally. So I've always been a pretty big believer in ultimatums. But I think like now that I'm older and just trying to be a better person for myself, I realize that that's very much not healthy and also not fair in a lot of scenarios as well. So now, fast forward, I think like in this situation with the actual TV show or in an ultimatum for like a relationship, it's like if it's that deep, do this or we're done. I feel like break up, like because or deal. Either break up or deal with it, because it's like, look, you're not adding on extra pressure. One, is that how you want to win it?
I was really just gonna say that.
Is that how you want to win it?
I don't think I'd want someone to like hang out with me for the day under those circumstances, let alone commit their life to me under those circumstances.
Thank you.
Because like how like if I just really like tell you need to come sit down on my couch and watch this movie with me, or we're not friends, and now you're like, well, damn, I don't want her to be that mad. Well, shit, fuck, I'll watch this movie I don't want to watch. Cancel the plans I had and sit here with this movie. Are you gonna be happy? Is it gonna be like Kiki? Ha girl, this movie. You're gonna be like,
no.
How long is the movie?
Right. It feels like hostage.
Yes. It feels like girl. Now I don't even know. Do I want to be friends with you?
Right. Because damn, if you cared about me, would you even treat me like this?
Because what is this?
Yeah, see,
I used to like you.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever given an ultimatum out loud. Well, maybe back in the day. When
I feel like we all have. We all have. I mean, even think about like in your preteen to teenage years with your parents. Like there's always everything is so dramatic.
It's so dramatic.
Or like your little friends. Everything is like if you don't do this, you can't come to my birthday. It's like all those little things. I remember my cousins when we get mad at each other and be like, I'm not your cousin anymore.
Yes.
Like, girl, you can't even do that. Like
you can't even do that.
Hate it or love it, this your cousin.
Yes.
Let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I think now at 32, I definitely am not I'm not a fan of ultimatums, because also too, I don't want to be put in that. Because honestly,
that's a stressful place to be.
If the role is reversed, then I guess I'm choosing not.
But then it sucks. In the like, have a baby with me or we're over, or get married or we're over, or do this, move to New York with me or we're over. It's like those are like, it's such a weird place to be, and I can only imagine your head, because you're just like, I do like what we have right here, right now. I like this, but I'm not ready for that. But if I don't do that, I lose this.
That's true. And sometimes ultimatums aren't even like all over the top or like dramatic. It could just be like you were saying, like, okay, I'm moving to New York. I just got a job offer in New York and I love you, I want to be with you, but you don't want to move to New York. You want to stay here because your life is here.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't do long distance relationships. So
you either come in or we're done.
Yeah, and it's like,
it's just like, well, damn. Do I want to uproot my life?
Right, or stay here.
Or be single here?
Yeah.
Sad. I don't know.
Yeah. Ooh, that's interesting.
So yeah,
good question.
If you haven't watched the show, tune in. There's 3 seasons. You're lucky. I love when I catch a show like that. I'm like, oh, there's 3 seasons and I haven't seen any of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
the queer one was actually really good.
Yeah, oh yeah, so 4. The queer one was so much more drama.
I think it was like the best one.
It was so drama. I think they should do one with men.
Yeah, they should.
And then they should do one where
like
everybody's like non-binary, bisexual.
Oh,
the drama.
The drama.
Oh, I love it. I love it. But that'll transition us to what's going on.
What's going on?
Where we talk about what the hell is going on in this world. Or just a few things that are going on.
Right. Right.
You want to go
just
first?
A few of the many. You can go first.
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to talk about this UnitedHealthcare CEO.
Break it down, girl.
Being murdered on December 4th. Brian Thompson. So crazily, this story seems to, on all my little research on the interwebs, everyone thinks it stemmed from in November, in like late November, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield sparked controversy when they announced the plan to cap coverage in certain states over anesthesia amounts. So basically, if your surgery went too long, they would cap your coverage, and patients would have to pay for the remaining anesthesia balance out of pocket, which is crazy.
Crazy. Fuck.
So people found out, people were talking about it, and then on December 4th, early December, Brian Thompson is shot in Manhattan, New York, outside of a Hilton hotel. You know, they had video of it, but just not the person's face. They were wearing the thing, the hood, and the backpack. So I looked at the little timeline. I didn't watch the video, but I seen like a bunch of screen grabs. So it's basically he is waiting outside the hotel. You can see him kind of pacing like on the phone, and then the guy comes out and he has this gun with a silencer, and he just shoots like 3 times. The gun kind of jams. He shakes it and shoots him again, and then dips into this alley. And then they have him like getting on a bike, and then they have a picture of him in a taxi.
Wow.
And he basically like goes through Central Park to the Port Authority to get on a bus to get just like out of New York.
Out.
This person got to New York. They found how they got to New York. And this is allegedly. We don't know if this is the person. I haven't said the names because this is the shooter. We don't know who actually did it. Okay.
They have an alleged person.
They have an alleged person in custody, but who knows?
Right.
You know, we don't know. So it was crazy because trying to track the person, I'm looking, and it's like all this CCTV footage and, of course, COVID mask, hood, all the things. Fake New Jersey ID.
Right.
To buy bus tickets and check into a hostel, because that was another thing. There was like a hostel in Manhattan that they stayed at 2 nights under this fake New Jersey thing. ID. So
they kept it low key.
Low key.
They said no Airbnb, no hotel.
So yeah, on December 9th, suspect Luigi Maggioni. Maggioni. I don't know.
Luigi.
Luigi was identified in a McDonald's by a customer and an employee. He had been taking a bus. He was in Pennsylvania, Altoona, Pennsylvania, somewhere like that.
Is that the picture where he looked like he flirting with somebody, like where he's like cheesing?
No, the picture they have of him in McDonald's, he like has a COVID mask and like a hash brown. But apparently, you know how buses, when you take buses, they stop. And so I guess they stopped. He went into the McDonald's, and it's like, bro, why didn't you just get back on the bus with your shit?
Right. Just stay hungry. I'm gonna be honest. You trying to get away from some shit like that? Stay hungry until you get home.
Bought some protein shakes.
Yeah, literally.
Chill.
Some pretzels.
Right. Or at least until you get out of like the immediate area, because it's like the East Coast, these states are so like small and close together. It's like, bro, you're not, I think it was like 300 miles from New York. Like that's not far enough. You need to be across you need to be on one of the other coasts by now, either the southern coast, the west coast,
something.
You need to be somewhere else. You could have actually went the other way and went to Canada. Like that would have been a better option.
Exactly. Get out the country.
Why are you anyway?
My stomach would have been in knots. I don't know how he even ate.
I don't even know.
Like,
and you're eating a McDonald's hash brown?
I would try to be invisible.
Okay.
Like, I'd be in the back of the
I honestly feel like, because he has very distinct eyebrows. And they mentioned that, like, oh, we knew from the eyebrows. Like, I watched this interview with the customer who was like, he said it was his eyebrows because he saw his mask. And he was like, is that the guy? And he asked the employee, he was like, I think that's the guy from New York. And the girl was like, yeah, I could tell from his nose and his eyebrows.
Wow.
You know you have very distinct eyebrows. Beautiful eyebrows.
Right.
Cut them. Thin them.
Right. Dye them blonde. Yeah, exactly.
Dye blonde.
Something.
You need to change that. Any distinctive features, like for me, hair. Hair straight. Hair's cut off.
Wig.
Braids. Something's gonna be so different about this hair that you're not just gonna be like, hey, that's the girl. Come on.
Good Lord. Come Lord. Some straight backs.
Like, okay, something.
With no product.
And as a man, you can totally like grow a beard out, commit a crime, shave it. Now you're so different.
Duh. Shave it in the bus bathroom. Like, okay,
Anyway, we're aiding and abetting right now.
Allegedly.
But anyway, so when they found him, he had $8,000 in cash on him, a 3D printed gun, which was used.
Oh.
Allegedly. His passport. And he had the fake ID on him. So in Pennsylvania right now, he has been charged with carrying a gun without a license, forgery for the fake ID,
Right.
falsely identifying himself to authorities, and possessing instruments of crime. Don't know what that is. But I'm sure if he presented his New Jersey ID to the police, that's the falsely identifying yourself to authorities. But I'm like, is instruments of crime, right? Is it the gun? Is it all of those things printed together?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Damn, you could 3D print a real gun.
Girl, they have plastic gun. And they've had plastic guns for heck along, where it's just like it's a plastic gun that can make it through the metal detector.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping us safe, TSA.
I mean, like, that's the thing, bro. Crime, the law can change, but criminals are gonna do crime.
Okay.
And that's the thing.
They're gonna find a way.
They're just gonna be like, oh, we can't do it like this. Let's do it like that.
Yup.
So
intelligent people.
Yeah. So yeah, he was. I guess the firearm was loaded, so he was also charged with that. And that's in Pennsylvania. And right now they're trying to get him. They're trying to get him extradited to New York so that he can like stand trial. Last I heard, and this was like reports as of like this morning of them like, you know, the governor's involved and all these people are like, we just need to get him here to New York so that he can stand trial for what happened here. His lawyer has said like, I don't see any evidence that says that this person is the shooter. But something interesting that they found on him was a document. It was a handwritten document that expressed ill will towards corporate America and included passages such as, quote, frankly, these parasites had it coming.
Oh.
End quote, according to police. Also, investigators say that the words deny, defend, and depose were written on the shell casings found at the scene of Brian Thompson, the CEO's murder.
Wow.
And the 3Ds, like, it's a reference to the 3Ds of insurance. Tactics used by companies to reject payment claims by patients.
Ooh, I wonder, what is that page that did, that, like, released all those documents as, like, anonymous,
Wasn't it WikiLeaks?
No, it was like, they're like a group and they do a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
like,
anonymous.
Yeah, it's anonymous. It's giving anonymous a little bit. Not that they would do it, but I'm sure he follows them.
I mean,
he probably does follow
They
them.
said that he praised people in that document. He like said that the Unabomber and somebody else was like they were revolutionaries. So
okay,
he has a bone to pick with corporate America, allegedly, because they found that in his thing. Doesn't mean he wrote it.
You know, okay,
Did
to
he sign
you,
it? We don't know, but also he probably wrote it.
Is it giving staged to you? Like, is this giving like?
That's what a lot of people are saying. Like, it's giving. Is this a Fall Guy?
That's what I'm saying.
They want to make
Patsy?
it. They want to. Patsy, because okay, something else that I learned about him, and this is like deep dive social media stuff. So, I mean, there is some truth to it. 'Cause this is like information from his LinkedIn and stuff.
Okay.
And like just knowing, I guess his grandpa owned some nursing assisted living homes. I forget the name, like Logain or Logain, I don't know. But they locally owned it in Maryland. And then United Health started buying up all the local nursing homes and kind of pricing them out because, you know, they do the Walmart thing. Where it's like all the mom and pop locally owned things can't keep up because this price is just undercutting us.
Yes.
And so... Oh, and it got so bad with United Health doing that in Maryland that the Department of Justice there was actually suing UnitedHealthcare and saying, hey, this is actually having a just bad impact on communities, like on the people that are living in the nursing homes, the employees, like this monopoly is not good for the economy here. So a lot of social media sleuths are thinking like maybe that's a little bit why he would target the United Health CEO specifically because... Like we said, there's that story about Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah.
About their practice. And so for a while, for me, I thought it was the same company. I was thinking, oh, he killed the CEO of this company and then they changed their thing. Because while this was going on, while they were looking for the suspect that they think they have, we don't know, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield basically were like this thing that they were planning with capping the anesthesia, they were going to do that in 2025. It was going to go into effect like February 2025.
And I have Anthem too.
And same. And they were like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. It's fine. Like, we're just that plan, we're no longer going forward with it. Like, after this dude died,
right.
And so a lot of people, again, these stories are intertwined for a reason, because it's like, oh, y'all scared. On top of that, I've noticed, or people have noticed, that on LinkedIn, CEOs they've taken their bios off, their pictures, they're really depersonalizing their LinkedIn pages because they're scared.
And a lot of the healthcare websites have also taken down their CEO information or like staff information and stuff like that too, which I'm like, yeah, like, and I think that's why a lot of people who I've seen online have been kind of like damn near rooting for Luigi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or whoever the real person is, like being like, yeah, fuck that. Take a stand, because these fucking healthcare people have been doing us wrong for so long. Let them be scared. I've been seeing a lot of those takes.
And I honestly, I'm gonna be honest, not that I'm condoning like people being murdered, obviously, but something that they also found a book review. It was, I forget, it was like The Future of the American Industry or some book online that he had written a review on.
Oh.
And very lengthy review. But something that he said in the review was, when all forms of communication fail, violence is necessary to survive.
Ooh.
Now again, does that mean he did it? Not necessarily.
Not
We're
necessarily.
all innocent until proven guilty. So we're not saying that this person has done anything. We don't know.
Wow.
The American public, though, again, the majority of us do understand, like you said, the frustrations.
Yeah.
And the issues. They're very real. And I think what this really shows us as the people is that the 1%, yes, they are hoarding all the resources, but they're human.
Yeah.
They're human, and actually they're outnumbered. And when we do get in, this is one person, right? Due to this one person's actions, people are taking CEO information down. They're scared.
Yeah.
And this is a message to everyone that, bro, they're outnumbered. They're afraid of us. And the same way that, again, this change happened, Blue Anthem, or what is it, Blue Anthem? Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah.
Like, what they were going to do and what they have done. Like, let's be honest, what they always do. These insurance companies, they profit. People pay. You know people are going to pay their premiums. And then when they get sick, you get to act like, you know, Mr. Calculator and decide whether or not this person is worthy, or if they've paid enough for you to pay for their health care, which is what they're paying you for. And it's really stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like, there's so many countries in this world that do it right, that just say, hey, you go into the hospital,
you're sick, you get taken care of.
We gave you this aspirin, you know, we're going to give you a real price. We're not going to charge you. Like, I've seen moms say that they've been charged for skin-to-skin contact with their baby. Why would you charge me for that?
No,
why would you charge me for that?
I saw
doesn't make any sense. It's my damn skin.
Literally, I saw one where they were saying that their healthcare provider, their baby, their infant was in the ICU, and Viagra would have helped that baby with, I think it was like something with their heart or something like that. But the healthcare provider wouldn't cover it. And so, but like, you know, men left and right get Viagra covered for their ED. And with no questions asked.
So yeah, it started as a blood pressure medicine. So it's very interesting that, like, they were going to use it for this child, I'm sure, for the original use of this medicine. And they wouldn't cover it?
No, got denied. And the baby, unfortunately, ended up passing away.
Oh my God.
Because of this denial of coverage. And it's just like, I agree with you. Do not condone murder. But at the same time, like, there are certain things where it's like, kind of how he said in his message, certain actions take place and everybody listens. And honestly, it's interesting because, again, this quote, when all forms of communication fail, violence is necessary to survive. I know I've heard Malcolm X say something very similar to By
that.
any means necessary.
And just like, look, and that when they will not listen to you, this is what they'll listen to. You have to speak the language of your oppressors. Because what are they doing? They're committing violence.
Yes.
They're killing children. They're killing people that are paying them. And that's the crazy part. As a parent, how crazy is it that you pay these people money every fucking month? Yeah. And the time that you need them, the time your baby needs them, they can decide, no,
Yeah.
And it's like not even it's so faceless as well. It's very like you're getting an email or the doctor is telling you, hey, yeah, we tried to do this, but your insurance isn't going to cover it.
They said no. So it's going to be $1 million. Like, no exaggeration. It's $1 million.
Disgusting. Our healthcare system is abysmal. It really needs to be reformed. And I'm very excited for, because who knows if it is directly because of the CEO being murdered that they changed their policy. It could very well, again, they got a lot of coverage with people finding out about this policy going into effect and being publicly outraged. So I know there's a lot of people that I've spoke to of all different ages, races, genders, all the things that feel like people protesting, people calling out injustice does nothing.
Yeah.
They feel like, what's the point? I don't want to see that on my timeline. They're blocking the freeway. Why are they doing that? But this public outrage is what gets these people to change this shit. We cannot peacefully change it. And I don't mean that we have to kill everybody. I just mean we have to disrupt things. It's not going to be peaceful. It's going to be, we got to make some people mad. We got to piss people off. We got to hit them where it hurts. Because if we don't, how will they know how upsetting this is for us? How will they know how we feel if we don't show them? If we don't, again, hit these people where it hurts, which is, hey, we're going to publicly call you out. And maybe we'll all stop paying you.
Hey, look, America is in the... How many episodes have we set up here and said that the veil is coming down?
Okay.
That shit is changing.
It's changing.
That America is getting rocked upside down right now. And I think that this is just further proof of that transformation.
Yeah.
And like we've been saying, you got to tear it all down to rebuild. You know?
I think that's the thing that... a lot of revolutionary movements and people, they're praised after the fact.
Yeah.
In the middle of it, people hated Martin Luther King.
For sure.
People hated Malcolm X. They
were literally murdered for what they were doing.
James Baldwin, Nina Simone, all these people that used their platform. Bob Marley. There was a lot of hate. There was a lot of vitriol. There was a lot of danger surrounded by these people in their time. Yeah. And after the fact, whether they're either martyred or they lived through it, and we can see wow, they did this and evoked this change, and this is why I'm sitting here today able to do this. Now we're praising them.
Yes.
But in the midst, it's uncomfortable, and it's supposed to be. And I think that's what gets lost. I hear, and I know we've all heard the person why can't you be more like Martin Luther King? Honey, these people are doing exactly what this man did. You just want it to hurry up and be over so you can look at it through the rose-colored lenses that everybody is looking at Martin Luther King now.
Absolutely, which is exactly
this man was assassinated, and they did not like him.
Right, which is exactly
they bombed his house a number of times.
So many times. So many times, and I think that is so much as to why they put these people, like all the names we just listed, they make it seem like that shit was so long ago. Yeah. All their pictures are in black and white, as if it was like 1875.
Right.
No, people who are our own grandparents who are alive today were alive then too. You know what I mean? And it makes you think oh my gosh, we're only a couple generations separated from that.
From Jim Crow, from civil rights movement, from all these things that happened.
From people having burning crosses on their lawns, from segregation, from all of that.
Talk about it, girl.
And then we're wondering why it feels so oh my gosh, everything is so crazy. We were at one time at peace. No, we were never at peace.
It was never at peace. Honestly, I was talking to this woman on a shoot, and she was, I think in her 60s or 70s, and I was kind of sharing a lot of what oh my God, today, these days, I don't know, 'cause she was asking me if my husband and I were going to have kids, and I was kind of I think about the world today, and it's so, and she was like, I am not saying this to say that you're not valid in how you feel, but in my experience, I'm going to be honest, things are actually better. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. There was a time where as a woman, you go into, a job interview, and they could straight up be like, are you married? Are you going to have kids? No. She'll look at job listings, and it'll be like, black people need not apply. Asian people need not apply. Women need not apply. And it's so it's and she was like, and then I remember there was a lot of things where, businessmen would just shoot each other in business meetings. Things were so violent. And over time, America has become less violent, figured out new ways to deal with things and, put things in place so that this doesn't happen. Unions is another thing, because somebody made a really good point on social media. It was like, a lot of these people don't realize that a lot of your employees gathering peacefully with a document of, hey, these are our grievances and we want you to stop doing this. That is a alternative to all these people gathering, going to your house and burning it down with you in it. Because that's what used to happen. Before unions and workers had a voice, that's what they would do. You're screwing us all over. We're going to go in here, drag you out your house, beat the shit out of you. And now, we don't have to deal with you anymore. You're dead. Like, what? And I'm not trying to say that that's what, hey, let's all do it. That's our goal. But at the end of the day, you push people so far, and then what?
Yeah.
And when you think about, again, healthcare, people are dying. You are literally robbing people of their lives.
Yeah.
Babies.
People's loved ones, people's families, like
new parents.
Literally.
That should be raising their kids that aren't. It's like all these things, and it's like, how much violence can you inflict sitting behind your safety wall or in your ivory tower before it reaches you? And then now it's ugly, right? Now violence is wrong.
Yeah.
But when it's a baby that needs a stupid pill
then
to save their life,
then it's okay.
It's not violent for you to let that baby die when you can absolutely put the stamp on the paper and make sure they live.
Yeah.
That's not violent? I feel like that's very much violent.
Very violent. Like, I would damn near say it's a genocide against
it is.
Its own people.
Absolutely.
Like,
it's disgusting. How many millions of lives could you have saved? Or have you actually murdered? You're complicit in the murder of so many people.
Yes, literally. How many people have come into a hospital needing basic care and not being able to receive it? Or
getting left in the hallway because they don't have insurance. Let's talk about
or
that.
being like, I would rather sit at home sick as a dog and not have to come out my pocket because I know that I'm not going to, one, get the care that I need, and two, not be able to afford that, or think like, okay, maybe I do go into debt to do this and I know I will never be able to pay it. And then I'm not going to have a great quality of life because I can't do anything else but pay this fucking bill. I just want to know how many people are on the streets right now because of something like that. You know what I mean? I just saw
medical
the other day.
Bills, student loans.
Look, the other day I was driving downtown and I saw this guy by was it the Kaiser? I think it was the Kaiser on J Street, and he was in a hospital gown with his little thing on, his little wristband on, just walking the street. No shoes, nothing. He's a homeless guy. Just because they just let you go. After you get whatever basic level of care or need something to where you just don't die right then and there, I guess, then they just, there you go.
They're just like, where was the social worker at to get this person some shoes?
Literally.
Some clothes?
And I just was driving by like, damn, this is like normal. Like, this is like, I'm just driving on my way to like meet up with somebody for like coffee, and this is what we're seeing. It's crazy. But yeah.
Revolution, baby.
Yeah.
It will not be televised.
Oof.
But we'll talk about it here.
Right, we'll talk about it here. Exactly. It will be potted.
It will be podcasted.
On to something else crazy as hell. So there has been a civil suit filed against Jay-Z. Wowzers. Let's get into that. So, a civil suit has been filed against him for the... Okay, also trigger warning. I just want to throw that out there. Trigger warning, sexual assault, unconsenting sexual behavior. So, moving on. He's been accused of raping a 13-year-old back in the year 2000. It was originally just against Diddy. He was originally the only person mentioned, but then it was amended to include Jay-Z. And after this became public, he responded with a statement 2 hours later. He responded with a statement. I won't read the whole thing, but I'll read a little bit. One of the things says, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called the demand letter from a, quote, lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations, and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. I was like, damn. I'm not gonna lie. This statement was kind of fire. Like, I feel like as probably one of the better statements that I've seen made from a celebrity accused of something. But anyway, he says a whole bunch of stuff. One of the pieces that he says was that he's a young man from Brooklyn and he won't be treated like this and all this. I'm like, okay, is the young man in the room?
Okay, like, what are you talking about?
Aren't you like 56 or something like that? And anyways, the last line was, I look forward to showing you just how different I am, because he ends up basically saying, you know, you can't push me around. Your actions are deplorable. I can't believe that my kids I have to have this conversation with my kids now, and da 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 da. You're embarrassing my wife and my family. Boom. So the lawyer came out. He responded to Jay-Z's statement. Cool. Yeah. And he said, regarding the Jay-Z case and his efforts to silence my clients, Mr. Carter previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. He filed his frivolous case under a pseudonym. What he fails to say in his recent statement is my firm sent his lawyer a demand letter on behalf of an alleged victim, and that victim never demanded a penny from him. Because Jay-Z was basically saying... It's extortion. It's extortion. Yeah. Why not file a criminal suit instead of a civil suit? Back to the lawyer's statement. Instead, she only sought a confidential mediation. Since I sent the letter on her behalf, Mr. Carter has not only sued me, but he has tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff. His conduct has had the opposite impact. She is emboldened. I'm very proud of her resolve. As far as the allegations in the complaint filed, we will let the filing speak for itself and will litigate the facts in court, not in the media. So, it sounds like the lawyer and the alleged victim are doubling down. Now, there's a few things that came up for me when reading this and when finding all this information out. At first, I was like, yeah, why not the criminal suit? You know, at first I was like, okay, yeah, if it's not about money, then why not the criminal suit? Now, I am always on the side of the victim. You know, like we were saying, like put all the information out and let's figure it out. Right. But also too, when the lawyer put that next statement out about like, oh, we were trying to do mediation behind the scenes, but he said no. I'm like, ooh.
Sued you under a pseudonym?
Right.
What are you hiding?
Right. That just kind of does not look like it doesn't feel like a great look.
It seems like you said something because you had to.
Right. It seems like you said something because you had to. Yeah. And also, too, like, this is not Jay-Z's first time.
First of all, this man stabbed somebody, shot somebody, sold crack to his community that he claimed so like, oh, Marcy Project, that you were selling crack to the community. And it's like your kids, oh, they're going to be embarrassed. What do you mean? You cheated on your wife very publicly. Y'all both made albums about it. Now, granted, this is on another level, but babe, you stabbed a guy and then bragged about it in a song.
Like, yeah. And also, too, like, he's been around young women a lot in his career.
We all seen them pictures of him with Aaliyah.
Yeah, and there's, I mean...
And Beyonce and him.
I was just going to say, there's a lot of stories that are like, well, yeah, they met when she was 16, but they didn't really get acquainted for real until she was 18, and then they didn't start dating until she was... All these things.
All giving grooming. Like,
literally.
I waited. No, you waited to go public until it was publicly acceptable.
Yeah. Come on.
What are we saying right now? And it's funny that it's like that's the same story that everyone tells. Everyone tells that story. Like Celine Dion also is in a relationship where her husband is super duper old. There's a picture of her and she's like 14 and her husband is in the picture and he has like gray hair. Like he's like old in this 14? Picture when she's like 14. And she said the same thing where it's like, no, it wasn't like that. We didn't start dating until I was like 18 and you know, it was very consensual and very, like, cool and demure. Like, girl, no. No, this person was way older than you. Are you for real? I think he was, like, in his 40s when they started dating. It's like,
That's disgusting. And what Jay-Z was like 36, I think, when he started dating Beyonce. So even if Beyonce was 18 years old, that's still like
sick, bro. And you met her when she was 16? Why?
Right. Like, yes, she was famous, so like, okay.
But also,
still,
why?
But why?
Why were you in her face? Why were you? And I've heard statements like, yeah, that's it. She's beautiful. She did it. It's like, okay. There's a way to compliment a minor's looks without making it creepy as fuck.
Yeah. And you were like besties with Diddy. Like, for a long time, besties. And now,
people were.
You know they say birds of a feather flock together, right? And that was like during their prime years. So, you know, if Diddy was doing all this shit now, imagine what he was doing back in his prime years. Probably way more disgusting things that we will never, ever
Getting
find out
to
about.
sneak a gun into the club and shooting somebody in the head.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know. And now, this is all alleged. This is all alleged. So, hey, but I do feel like the story is that this 13-year-old went to a house party after the MTV Video Music Awards. And the story is that she got invited by Jay-Z's limo driver. And right. And that, she got invited by the limo driver, and the limo driver was basically like, you should come to the party, you should come hang out, woo, woo, woo. So that's how, I guess, she got to the party.
Why are we inviting children to parties with adults?
Exactly. And I'm thinking, like, because, you know, I mean, at 13, I was not sneaking out of the house.
This has to be a child star, right? Like, were they at the award show, I'm wondering? It has
I know,
to be
right?
some sort of child, like, actor, singer, or something.
And, you know, a lot of child star, or even people who are, like, you know, wanting to get big, a lot of parents of those kids are willing to sell their kids out.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Usher's mama let him live with Diddy.
Okay.
Weird.
What's Justin Bieber's parents doing? Like, so we all know that there are parents out there who are willing to let their kid do any damn thing.
All them parents that was like gave their daughter to R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Make her a star. Do what you do.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, but and then
it's not the child's fault by not at all blaming a 13-year-old. These adults were not preying on this child.
Definitely not. And I know people are out there like, well, she's not a child anymore. Why not? Why doesn't she just come out with her identity if you're so serious about what happened?
Because you know what y'all gonna do to this person.
You're gonna dox this girl.
You know what you're gonna do.
Like, even if
this person,
what she's saying is not
and
true.
Then I implore you, watch the Chris Brown documentary. There were victims that did disclose their identity, came out bold with it, and they were immediately eviscerated by the media. No one believed them. Their lawyers were scared away. So their case was dropped because they didn't have a lawyer that was bold enough to withstand all the scrutiny, because these people have money. And if you know Jay-Z and even P. Diddy, these people are billionaires, honey. They're really rich and really connected. It's a very big beast to go up against, and it's easier to do when they don't know who the hell you are. We all know that.
True.
Ambiguity is the one thing you can use to your advantage in this situation.
Yep. And also too, like, I feel like people, I don't know. I'm interested to see where this goes. Like, I don't know Jay-Z. I don't know.
Right, we don't know any of these people.
I don't know any of these people. I don't know the lawyer, nothing like that. But I will say there is a lot of information out there, and like kind of like backstory stuff that does not make him look great.
Oh, I know. Like the story of Rihanna signing her deal, where they're like, they put her in this room in this high rise and said, and I've heard her side and his side of them in different interviews telling the story of like, you know, I told her there's two ways out of here, either out that window when you're not signing a deal, or you get to walk out the door when you do.
Jay-Z said this?
Yes. Rihanna has said this in interviews, and he said it in interviews. Like, we really wanted to sign her. We were really excited. We told her, like, that's how you do it. And they kept her from like 3 p.m. to like 3 a.m. or 6 a.m. or some crazy shit hostage in this room. And she's talked about it. Like, they wouldn't let me leave, so I was like, okay, let me sign the deal. Yeah.
Oh,
and she was
hell
like
no.
16, 17 at that time.
And of course, they probably make it seem like, oh, we would not really let her leave. It was just like, oh, girl,
I'm sure they didn't.
We can't let you leave until you sign because we want to work with you so bad. No, they're probably in there getting you fucked up, like having you question yourself and your morals and your values and all this shit. Like
the police do to people when they get false confessions.
Exactly.
They sit you there. They starve you.
Exactly.
And then they'd be like, oh, now that you've been sitting here for 13 hours, do you want a sandwich? If you sign this, I'll get you a sandwich. And you're like, yeah, I'm so hungry. Mm-hmm. Fine. Here, please give me something to eat. Or please let me go. And Terrible. And so the thing is, too, one of the last things I'll say is that, like, Jay-Z is a huge name. Mm-hmm. He's an icon for many. People love Jay-Z and will do anything he says. I mean, we've all heard that conversation, like, would you rather take $1 million or brunch with Jay-Z? Like, bro. So I can... $1 million. Right. Stupid. So I'm just saying that to say, if you were this alleged victim, would you put your name out there? Like, when you have all these people who you're aiming to tear down people's hero, they're not going to take that lightly. To tear down Beyonce's husband.
Yeah.
Even if he wasn't someone in his own right, because like you said, he's an icon within his own right.
Oh yeah.
But even if he wasn't, this is Beyonce's husband.
Blues daddy. According to... Well, yeah. I mean, let me just...
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
The children's dad.
It's gonna be hard. I wouldn't want to put my name out there because, again, fans are crazy. I mean, even the Chris Brown fans tearing these people down, like...
Exactly.
Fans are insane. Like, I feel like that's a whole other...
conversation.
Pandora's box we could open, because I listen, if you're listening and you're like a hardcore stan, like you beat somebody up for not being a Beyonce fan or not liking Nikki or Doja Cat or whoever, let us know why.
Yeah.
Let us know what is the drive behind that and what do you get from that.
Yeah, for speaking on their behalf. I don't know. Yeah, so anyways, that was crazy. That is crazy. I'm very interested to see how this story develops. I feel like...
who else is going to be named? Because, again, Diddy was popular.
Yeah. I feel like if I was Jay-Z, I'm going to be honest, at that level, I don't think I would have made a statement. I think I would have just let it, like, go. Because if I'm right, like, if I'm Jay-Z and I know I didn't do shit... the truth will come out. The truth's going to come out. She's a fucking liar and da-da-da-da.
But we all seen what happened with Diddy. He put out that statement, this is not true, this is so untrue, and then he had to do another statement.
So...
I'm so upset about how I acted.
Okay.
Ooh. Yeah, so anyways,
we'll see, honey.
We don't know these people, but we will see. We will see.
We shall see. Okay, so the second thing that I have and wanted to bring is we have lost a great one. Miss Nikki Giovanni has passed.
Yes.
She was 81. She passed Tuesday, December 9th. She had been battling lung cancer, and she succumbed to lung cancer.
Rest in peace to the realist.
May she rest where she belongs, honey.
Okay.
With the greats.
Yes.
But gosh, Miss Nikki Giovanni, she best known as a poet, but also revolutionary. She gained her notoriety in the 1960s, playing a major part in the Black art movement back then. She lent her brilliant and beautiful words to speak for what it was like to be a Black person in America. Her most famed poem that a lot of people love is Nikki Rosa. And it really hit because it drove home the message that Black folks are not just impoverished people who only know struggle. We know love, we know joy, and we know family.
Yes.
And love is actually our superpower and well of life. If you haven't, check it out. Because it's very poignant even today.
Yeah. Which I think can be said about so many of her works.
I know, so many of her works.
Ahead of her time.
Ahead of her time. And her counterpart, James Baldwin, one of my faves. The conversation with him and her is something that is just, again, timeless.
Yes,
and just
iconic.
Very beautiful. A Black man and a Black woman, two both really gifted wordsmiths,
Mm-hmm.
you know, beautiful people who speak from the soul.
Yes.
And it was very refreshing to see two people with a black man and a black woman, especially in that time, with their guards down,
Yeah.
publicly having this conversation about communication, about mutual respect,
Yeah.
about love, about smiling at each other,
Yes.
the simple joys. It was just such a beautiful thing. And when you think about them both, Nikki Giovanni was married to a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and James Baldwin, as we know, is he was also homosexual, which again, no shade to that.
Right.
I just say that to say the way that they spoke about intimate relationships between black women and black men, you wouldn't think that.
That conversation.
Like, you wouldn't think that
happening
could be
between
so
them.
poignant like that, because
Yeah.
it's very like, not that they wouldn't know,
Right,
obviously,
right.
but it's just very like, wow, this is like universal.
Yes.
And I think a lot of the times we don't think it's universal. I know, at least me, it's hard to, I don't know, it's not hard to think that it's universal, but it is like, for whatever reason, a little bit like, oh wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, not that it matters who they're loving on, but again, it's just very, that conversation, nothing about the conversation changes knowing that about both of them.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I feel like it was very interesting how Nikki Giovanni in that conversation used the relationship between like her mom and men in her mom's life. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was necessarily her dad, but you know,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like there are many different avenues to witnessing love between a man and a woman,
Yeah.
and I think it could be very, very true between woman and woman,
Two
man and
men,
man.
2 women, yeah.
Yeah, what I love about their conversation is I felt that also another great Bell Hooks.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they spoke so much to revolutionary love,
Yeah.
which is so much of what I think James Baldwin wrote about, what Nikki Giovanni wrote about, and what Bell Hooks also
Absolutely.
wrote so much about.
Yeah.
So it was, just an iconic conversation. Like,
It was
so good.
absolutely
So
iconic, and honestly spoke to like, hey, we need each other to survive, and I think we need a resurgence of that type of, like you said, that revolutionary love, and that reminder that not even just as black people, but especially black people, the love is what our community, that is the superpower, that is the wealth, the black wealth that we need to focus on. Yes, obviously we all want to be financially good, but when it comes to community, when it comes to people, when it comes to humanity, love is really what makes or keeps humanity going, especially in tough times. That is what got our ancestors through all the tough times, is love and family, and again, love. I can't say it enough. So
conversations laced with love, intentional love. Yes.
mutual love. I mean, or what do you call it? Platonic love,
Yes.
and romantic love, familial love, and just, hey, you my homegirl, I love you. You know, hey, you're my neighbor, I love you.
Yes.
Hey, you're a stranger, but I love you. All that, we need to bring that back. She had been working on a memoir titled A Street Called Mulvaney. In her final poetry collection, the last book was set for publication in 2025. So I hope both of those are still made available to us, because I will be purchasing them.
Literally, I really hope so. I really, really hope so.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Miss Nikki Giovanni.
Rest in peace to the realest of us all. The realest one.
And while we're at that, we want to go ahead and give a thank you
Yes.
to Veronica at Yogi Homie.
Yeah.
She always holds it down, comes and shows love, and she also won the trivia night.
Yes, she did.
So she's dope. She's also just an awesome person. And also shout out to Andy at Cloudy Confections, because Honey Bun, those treats.
Those treats for trivia night.
Oh my God.
Hit,
I didn't even
honey.
get a chocolate chip cookie. They went so fast.
Me either.
Like, they went fast.
Maybe I did.
I looked and there was 2 left and I was like, okay, cool. Those would be for me and Tay. But I didn't set them aside.
Yeah.
I came back, gone.
Gone.
But
That's it.
Look, I'm glad they enjoyed it.
I
The girl can bake. Okay?
The girl can bake.
And also a nice thank you to Miss Christiana at Healing Hustlers as well.
Yes.
What a sweetheart.
So
Such a positive
genuine.
energy and very supportive. And of course, doing the healing and the hustling in this community as well.
hello, which we very much need. And
Which
if
we
y'all
very much need.
if y'all want to follow them online, which you absolutely
You
should.
definitely should.
Healing Hustlers is at healing.hustlers on Instagram. They talk all things healing and hustling. They also have a podcast, so check them out. Yogi Homies at yogihomie.co online. There's free yoga classes, or let me say donation-based yoga classes every Tuesdays at Soul Collective in Sacramento. Check that out for sure. Also very much involved in the community, always offering different events or have their hands in different events that are just, I don't know, very much intentional community giving.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And then Cloudy_Confections with 2 S's at the end on Instagram.
Get those treats, baby.
Get them treats.
Get them
It
treats.
is holiday
Cookie
season. Yeah, exactly.
It's cookie season and she can do whatever. She takes custom orders and everything. So hit her up.
Hit her up. And while you're at it, stay connected with us too, please. You can find us at howtobereal on Instagram and TikTok, and on YouTube at howtobereal. Easiest way to find us. You can stay connected with us on our personal pages. I'm at justsay_Tay.
And I am at the Tasha B.
Yes, and we want to hear from you. So please leave a comment, a rate, a review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, even subscribe, hit that bell on our YouTube. Make it easy for you. And, you know, it really helps us reach out to new community members. We say this every time, but you have no idea how much a share, a like, a comment, subscribe really just helps us build our own community. And
It does. It boosts those numbers, baby. It really does.
exactly. And if you have a special little message or you want to get some advice, let us hear some listener letters that we can read aloud on the show. You can email us at heyhowtobereal@gmail.com.
And also, if you think that there is a community, if you're in Sacramento listening to this and you think there's a community that we should, you know, a community event we should go to, or if you're interested in having us host, again, let us know. We're down.
We are. We do. We like to think of ourselves as fun girls.
I know. and community supporters, absolutely. We're
Yeah.
community builders and supporters. And again, we're people just wanting to give love and positivity to our community
Exactly.
in any way we can. So
Exactly. And, you know, you can find all of this information in the show notes of this episode. So if you're like, wow, that was a lot, feel free to just head to the show notes, girl. You're good. We got you covered.
yes.
And remember, we are not therapists. We just have them. So, you know,
Take a believe it.
take it with you. Yeah. And this week's Random Reel is on me.
Sure is.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. It's not about liking confrontation. It's about respecting when it's necessary. So,
Time and place.
time and place. As a girly who has had to work up a lot to be like, okay, look, it's about that time. It's about that. We got to confront. It's not my favorite thing to do, but we got to do it. Respect when it's necessary. It always feels good after you're done. Most of the time.
You feel like you had your back.
Exactly. Yes. I feel
That's
like
how
you
I
had
feel.
your back.
That needed to happen. I feel good.
I stood up for myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Necessary.
Yep. And with that,
Stay real.